I'm Annabelle. I'm from the UK Youth Climate Coalition delegation this year to Paris COP21, and I'm with Pekka.
Hello.
Hi. So Pekka is in the negotiations this week, and I was in the first week. So just a quick recap. I found the mood in the first week quite positive. People were still being quite polite. For example, I was following the long-term goal. So one of the key ideas behind that is getting zero emissions by 2050, and also a big push for 1.5 instead of 2-degree temperature rise. And there was the announcement by the Climate Vulnerable Forum, a group of countries most vulnerable to climate change, that it's called the Manila Paris Declaration, and they were pushing for 1.5 degrees and full decarbonisation.
Shifted from a more optimistic mood to one of, well, I wouldn't say apathy is the right word, but the mood has definitely fizzled out in many ways. There's a sort of simmering anger on the surface, but equally a lot of the parties inside have already brought into the process. Many of the issues are still to be decided on. The latest version of the text has quite a few brackets. It's actually quite hard to say what's going inside the negotiations, as civil society has basically been shut out from the negotiations. Walking around and inside the negotiating halls, a lot of that early energy and optimism seems to have fizzled out. Today especially seems to be a bit of a weird day. We had a big action yesterday that had a lot of momentum beside it. But today the atmosphere seems a bit more fizzled out, and I think people are sort of gearing towards the end game. The next couple of days will be very interesting.
Right. So can you tell us a bit more about the action yesterday? You were part of organising it, weren't you?
I was indeed. So we had, civil society have come to the point where they feel that the promises made to them around transparency and openness of the process have been completely reneged, and the civil society voice has not been heard in the negotiations at all. A lot of the red lines for the climate have been crossed, and then the text in itself is very unambitious. And I feel, many of the global South organisations and many of the NGOs, indigenous groups, gender and other groups feel that their backs are against the wall, and something needs to be done imminently. Years of talking about the Paris process have led to very little, and as expected, it seems like the text is seemingly very unambitious and will not keep our world from catastrophic global warming.
Okay, thank you. So to finish off, I mean, did you feel that the sit-in action you were in, the mass civil society sit-in you were in, do you think that was successful? And what are your kind of hopes, expectations for the last few days of the COP?
Sure. So we had around 600 people show up yesterday to what was originally an unauthorised sit-in outside the plenary halls. The original intention was merely to show up against the wishes of the Secretariat and the Presidency, and inform security only an hour before it was happening. We managed to negotiate with security to get an authorization for the action. The mood was very fired up. The messaging was very much around the lack of ambition and whatnot, but I feel it was hugely successful, a massive amount of energy, and I hope that translates into some further action in the next couple of days.
Brilliant, thank you so much. Bye.